Today is Pennsylvania, the Waterford Sheepman. Put him on the board, cheese. The Waterford Sheepman of Pennsylvania. Hello and welcome back to Creepy American Cryptids. Today's episode takes place in northwest Pennsylvania, where an anthropomorphic sheepman has been encountered. During this episode, we will explore the area where the sheepman was sighted, a description of the creature, the documented encounters with this cryptid, and a few theories on what the Waterford Sheepman may actually be. The setting. The Waterford Sheepman is reported to lurk and terrorize in the small rural town of Waterford in northwest Pennsylvania. Since Pennsylvania is shaped like a log cabin that has started to catch on fire, the sheepman is located in the chimney of the log cabin. The area of northwest Pennsylvania is in Erie County and is in the upper left corner of the state. The creature. The Waterford Sheepman is described as humanoid-shaped, half man, half sheep, or anthropomorphic sheep, and is reported to range in height from 6 to 7 feet. It has light gray, white, or even black hair covering its body. The cryptid has 2 large horns and large canine teeth. Some depictions of the cryptid show it with straight horns, while others depict it with curved horns like a ram. Rather than having hands, the creature has large, sharp claws. The creature also has hooves instead of feet. Many researchers explain this cryptid as a cross between a Sasquatch and a werewolf in appearance. Most Pennsylvania cryptids are known to be depressed, friendly, or only commit small random acts of vandalism. The Waterford Sheepman is much more terrifying. Encounters with this cryptid involve mutilating livestock and chasing people in an attempt to capture them and eat them. The Waterford Sheepman is suspected to live in the rafters of a covered bridge in Waterford on the southeast side of Niemeyer Road. The bridge spans LaBouffe Creek. However, the bridge was closed in 2011 as it had deteriorated to the point of no longer being usable. Due to varying descriptions of the Waterford Sheepman, it is difficult to detail a definitive look for this being. Most sketches depict the cryptid as bipedal, walking mainly on hind legs. The bloodthirsty abomination is also frequently shown to have red, glowing eyes and long arms that end in the aforementioned clawed hands. Although the creature is rumored to live in the rafters of the Waterford Covered Bridge, also known as the Wattsburg Road Bridge, it is typically encountered roaming the farm fields and forests around Waterford. An additional theory believes that the Waterford Sheepman lives in a cave just northwest of Waterford, and that the covered bridge is simply its hunting grounds. The encounters. Legend says that hundreds of sightings of the Waterford Sheepman have occurred since its initial appearance in the 1970s. Although encounters with the creature slowed down in the 1980s, sightings of this cryptid still occur to the present day. First encounter, Maryland. A common found story about an encounter with this creature comes from a teenage girl in the 1970s named Marilyn. The young lady explained that she lived on Baghdad Road and saw a large, strange figure running across a dirt road near the old sawmill. She recalled that at the time many people were seeing quick glimpses of the creature as it darted across roads and also into the brush along the edge of farm fields. Her second encounter with this monster occurred as she was driving home at night and saw the Waterford Sheepman running across the road into the nearby woods right before she was about to turn her car into her driveway. Richard. A second encounter from the 1970s involved a Waterford native named Richard Galbraith. who recalls hearing about the legend of the creature as a child. He explains that the adults would tell him not to let the Sheepman get him. They warned him to stay away from the Pennsylvania Route 19 on the edge of the city at night. If he did not, they described that he might meet the same fate as many animals that were torn to pieces by the savage, blood-hungry beast. Richard explained that he heeded these warnings as additional allegations claimed incidents occurred in which the terrifying monster also violently attacked humans as well as the slaughtered livestock. Herb. Another encounter is detailed by Herb Kinney, a local businessman and native resident of Waterford. He describes an incident in which his friend was nearly a victim of the abominable creature as it hid in the rafters of the Waterford covered bridge, waiting for someone or something to attack. Kinney explains, "It was always said the Sheepman lived in a cave on Baghdad Road. He was known to frequent the covered bridge southeast of town on East Street. He was said to hide up in the rafters of the old bridge and jump down and terrorize young lovers that had parked on the bridge. Two couples from Erie were traveling into the bridge late one summer night in a dark blue Ford Mustang convertible with the top down. It had started to sprinkle, so they pulled inside the bridge to put the top up when they were attacked. The boys fought off the creature and peeled out, filling the bridge with smoke from the burning rubber of their tires. The roof to the car was damaged, ripped, torn, and mangled to the point where it had to be replaced. All four of the young people insisted the incident really happened, telling the tale to their parents. The parents, fearing embarrassment, would not allow any police report to be filed." Theories. A primary theory is that the creature is a result of a man somehow mating with a sheep and creating a sheep-human hybrid creature. This theory accounts for its characteristics being a combination of human features and the features of a sheep. This theory also believes that the large gap between sightings occur due to sheep only having a lifespan of 10 to 12 years. The belief is that there are multiple generations of the creature that stalk the area for a few years before retiring and leaving the hunting to the next generation of sheepmen. A secondary theory is that the Sheepman is simply a legendary creature created by students of the local agricultural school, which spread throughout the community. Once the general public of the surrounding area became familiar with the story, it then became a local legend. Conclusions. Although several reports and theories exist regarding the Waterford Sheepman of Pennsylvania, there are no definitive answers at this time. In terms of classification for this cryptid, it is still debated among the community of cryptid researchers. The closest classifications for this creature are that of a Sasquatch type or werewolf type cryptid. These classifications are based on its size, bipedal nature, and its long arms ending in razor-sharp claws. If the Waterford Sheepman does exist, the question remains, where is it now? Is it possible that the Waterford Sheepman is misidentified as being another cryptid? Even within the scope of this series, we have already discussed similar creatures, such as the Tote Road Shagamal and the Wood Devils. Other states have legends of a goat man. Could the Sheepman have simply moved on to another area after the covered bridge deteriorated? We may never know the answers to these questions. However, one thing is for certain. If you do not want to be attacked or potentially even killed by the Waterford Sheepman, you should avoid the areas near Route 19 and the Waterford Covered Bridge in Waterford, Pennsylvania at night. As Richard Galbraith stated earlier, if you do not heed the warnings, the Sheepman will get you. See you next time, folks.